Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a beautiful weekend, and I hope you spent the last Sunday of the year in your service or virtually in your service. We have a lot to thank God for. So many things to thank God for. Life, health, and strength. So many people died this year. We lost a lot of loved ones. So I hope that yesterday was a day of praise and thank you. Yesterday, our bishop's topic was bring back the praise. It's amazing what praising God will do. It's amazing that when you move self out of the way and you give praise and thanks to your Creator, the many doors that can be opened. Not that you praise God just to get stuff, but you need to praise Him anyway because He has brought you thus far. Yesterday during the service, our pastor brought up the song, "We've Come This Far by Faith." And one of the bishops sitting next to me said, leaning, meaning, we all sing this song, "We come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord." We sing it, and I never looked at it the way he said. We're leaning, meaning that we are so destitute in life, meaning not destitute, meaning that we're living on the street or anything like that, but we're leaning because we can just make it. So we're leaning on God. God, help me. God, I need you. Lord, if you don't help me, I won't make it, and I won't make it without you. So we're all leaning and trusting on the Lord. And yesterday was a day of, oh my God, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. This morning, I'm cutting up some peppers. I kind of forgot that they were down there, and I don't want them to go bad. So what I'll do is I'll cut them up. I do have a machine that my daughter gave me that will cut them up so nice and neat. But I figured I'd cut them up and have a little talk to you all this morning. Today is my mother's birthday, December 28th. She was born in 1920. And my mother passed in 1990. And it was a devastating event for me. I mean, devastating. As soon as I realized my mother was dead, because I had got a call from one of my church sisters, and she told me, she said, "Sister Jackie, your mother is dead." I was like, "What? What are you saying?" She said, "Your mother's dead. The Lord revealed it to me, and I'm going to Long Island City, and I'm going to go to the management and tell them to open up your mother's apartment because she's dead." And I said, "Beverly, I've always known you to be a praying woman, a woman of God. I don't know you as a liar, but I hope that this is not true." She took public transportation from Jamaica to Long Island City, Queensbridge, and she went to the management office and told them to go to Miss Sampson's apartment. My mother lived at 4109 10th Street, apartment 5B. And she told them, she said, "You go and you open up Miss Sampson's apartment." Well, who are you? We don't have authorization for you to go, for us to go in there I'm not sure, but I think someone may have called me and told me, that there's this woman there wanting to get into my mother's apartment because she's saying my mother is dead. And any one of you that know or remember my mother knew everybody. She knew everybody. And one of the ladies in the office, it might have been the housing manager at that time, she knew my mother. And she said, okay, we're going to go into the apartment. They went into the apartment, and it was true. It was true. But how they did it, as far as, confirming it, there's a friend of mine, that's my sister. I haven't seen her in years, but her name is Alfreda. And she was the one that would call family members up to let them know that, a death had occurred. And Frida called me. And she said, Jackie, you okay? I said, I'm okay. She told me, she said, Sam is dead. They used to call my mother Sam. Your mother is dead. And I was sitting in my office. I worked at Mary Immaculate at that time as a financial coordinator. And I called my coworker over, Raymond. I said, Raymond, my mother is dead. After that, I kind of vaguely remember. I remember the head nurse. I can't think of her name. And one of the counselors, Linnea. And what they did was, and John Addles, my rock, he's going on to be with the Lord now. They drove me, we were in Jamaica, on Archer Avenue. It took me to Queensbridge Projects, and the coroner hadn't arrived as yet. But the head nurse, Sarah Payne, went inside, and they saw my mother. And Sarah, I don't know if it was Sarah, Linnea, and John, they came out, because I didn't know. I think I stayed out in the hallway. I didn't go inside. And Sarah came out, and she said, I've situated your mother's body. You can go in now, and you can see her. And I told her, nope. I said, there was a pact that my mother and I had. And I said to my mother, I never want to see you dead. Because when my mother and I would kiss, we always kissed in the mouth. And I knew the feeling of how it felt when you kissed a dead person, that their lips were cold. And I didn't want to feel that coldness from my mother. And I didn't go in. I went to my neighbor's house, Mary Brooks, my baby godbrother's mother. And she let me sit in her house. And I sat there until the coroner came. And when they brought my mother's body out in the body bag, I cannot tell you the wave of emotion that went through my body. And then my bottom fell out. When I tell you, there's no feeling and no one can explain it to you. It's a feeling only you know how it feels when your mother dies. There's one thing that I knew I had to do. I could not say my mother is in a better place. My mother, because my mother wasn't sick. She died of natural causes. She died. And my mother knew she was going to die because she kept trying to get me to come over to the house. I didn't know my mother was going to die, but something within me, I told my mother, I said, Mom, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I'm not coming. And I didn't go. The last time we were together was December 31st. Now I'm cutting up some squash. My husband bought them. And I know he forgot they were there, but I don't want them to go bad. December 31st, 1989. We were at the Rivera home. Pastor Rivera and his wife, my godson's grandparents, along with his aunts, Lydia, who else was there? David, his uncles David and Sammy, my best friend Norma. Let me tell you something. We had so much fun. We went to church. We bought in the new year, praising God. Then we went to Reverend Rivera's home. And I tell you, we ate, we had pernil. I don't know if we had pasteles. Oh my God, we had so much fun. And that was the last time I saw my mother alive. And it was a fun time. And I thank God for that. And it was just something within my spirit that when my mother kept saying to me that she wanted me to come over, and it's like, Jackie, how could you be cold-hearted to say that you wasn't going to go and see your mother? It was that spirit within me that said, don't go. Don't go. But after my mother died, I realized why the spirit said, don't go. Because the last time I was with my mother, we had so much fun. We laughed. Oh my God, we had so much fun. And those were the memories that I was able to hold on to the last time I saw my mother. And I will say this, is that love your parents. Let the Lord lead you in all things, because there's going to come a time you're not going to have your parents. You're not going to have your loved ones. Let them know that you love them. Don't part. Not in a good way. Don't do that. If you do part in a not a good way. I don't like to say bad way. I don't like to use that word bad. If you do part, if you quarreled or you had a misunderstanding or something like that, get it straight. Get it straight. Get it straight. Because you never know, by not getting it straight, that you may not see that person again. My best friend Rosalind, who's gone, just like every time I think of my friend being gone, that was my God, you took Lone Ranger and Tonto and Batman and Robin. That's what we were to one another. We mirrored off of one another. We were one another. That's how close we were. And one Christmas, I was at her family's house, and she had bought me this bubble bath set that looked like champagne. And her cousin and his wife thought it was champagne. So they stole my gift, they opened it, and they thought they was going to be drinking some champagne, but it was bubble bath. So when I woke up that morning, because we had spent the night at her aunt's house, I said, where's my gift? And Rosalind found out that Alan and Michelle had stole my gift. Oh my God, you talking about an argument in that house? Oh my God, it was horrible, 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 horrible. And Rosalind used to have this saying that if you needed a penny to live, I wouldn't give it to you. And she's made that statement. I know I remember her saying it to Michelle, but I don't think she said it to Alan. But in any event, Alan and Rosalind, that was her cousin. He was he her baby cousin? I think so. They had an argument. And that was December. That January, Alan was sitting on the bed with his mother. I'm cutting up a tomato now. He was sitting on the bed with his mother. Then all of a sudden, Alan slid off the bed. And when he slid off the bed, Alan died. He died of an aneurysm. Alan was 22 years old. His wife, Michelle, was pregnant with his only child. It was a girl. Her name is Misty. She was named after her dad. That was his nickname. Everyone knew Misty. You're talking about a loving man, a man that he was just a sweet guy. But because of an argument that happened December 25th, when that January rolled around, and that argument, that misunderstanding was never addressed, and there was no I'm sorry and I love you and all of that, he died. And that broke my best friend's, Rosalind's, heart. It broke her heart. And we all made a pact, because we used to hang out every weekend at her aunt's house. There's about 8 of us. And out of the 8 of us, the only ones that are alive is Daphne and myself. Okay? We made a pact that when we were together and when we parted from one another, we would always say, I love you. And we would never, ever allow, if there was a whatever between us, we would squash it right then and there. Because we didn't know the last time we would see one another. And I don't remember, I forget what year. He might have died in 1978 or early or 1976. But that was a horrible thing. So I'm saying all of that to say this. Love one another. Beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God, and everyone that loveth knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Beloved, let us love one another. We could have some slam down, knock you down arguments. I want to cut your throat. Get that together. Don't part with that in your heart. Don't. Because you never know if there will ever be a tomorrow to say I'm sorry. So everyone have a blessed, good day. I may come back later on to continue a conversation I had earlier about how the Lord led my mother to go to the Assemblies of God organization after my father died. Bye-bye!